There might not have been food at the home, but you never said, oh, you don't have a lunch, and so we would share. And the teacher would many times bring extra things to eat.
They'd cook a pot of soup, and we'd put it on the potbelly stove and have it for our lunch with the hot soup with our lunches. Mostly vegetable soups or chicken noodle. That's what they were popular with, around on the farm.
You carried your lunch in warm weather. In winter weather, the families would take turns bringing hot lunch, which could be a big bowl of rice pudding with raisins or mashed potatoes and gravy or perhaps scalloped potatoes, but that was it.
Once a week, a parent would bring in like maybe goulash for lunch, and they would bring it and set it on top of the stove so it would still be warm for lunch. That type of thing. Or if we wanted to bring a potato and stick it on the stove so it would be done for dinner, for lunch, different things like that.
And we would just bring our own potato to be baked. It would be wrapped in foil, and we would put it in the coals and bake it in the morning. And I can't quite remember how we marked them, even if we did, because everybody brought their own.
Yeah, everybody brought a potato. So it didn't really matter whose potato was whose because they were all, wrapped the same.
Well, we played ante-eye over, throw the ball over the garage.
That's
we
right.
played fox and goose.
Kick the can.
Down below the school there was a pond. We went ice skating.
Yeah.
We would go skating on a pond, and sometimes they'd kind of forget when to come back. But some of the older kids would help with the kindergartners with their words so that we could have a little longer time. And we enjoyed that.
Leola and I used to bicycle around in the country, which we talk about now. It wouldn't be safe to do. Spot a little pond or something and park our bicycles and sit there by the pond and throw stones in and talk. There was even like a bridge, and then we'd park our bikes and go down under that bridge. Well, when you think about it now, there's an old quarry. It was near the railroad track, and nobody would have believed we were up there. So we did things together.
Games we played were work-up baseball. We would rush out and play at recess and noon. Then we'd come in and write on the board the positions we were all in, so that when we started again, we started in those same positions. Then we had pom-pom pull away, and we had rover come over, and anti-over, and I suppose the other things, we just chased each other.
Every country school had a softball team, and all the girls played and the boys played because to get enough players, we had to have girls.
We had bats and balls, but we didn't have anything, no gloves.
No.
Our bases were stone spots on their, or marked in the dirt.
And the older kids would play with the younger kids. That was a good thing. You didn't feel isolated.
There was a pecking order usually, and the older ones told the younger ones what to do.
That's right. He was the big hitter, though.
Yeah, sure was.
He could hit her.
Played with the boys. We played ball, and we had
ante-eye over.
Yeah, ante-eye over the.
What was that game?
Ante-eye over. Throw the ball over the school roof.
Ante-eye over.
Ante-eye over.
Ante-eye over the woodshed.
Ante-eye over the schoolhouse, to throw the ball. Didn't you ever play that?
I take the ball and I throw it over, and I says, ante-eye over.
Then I start sneaking around, and they don't know which way you're going to come, so they're watching. And then I start running, and they start running, and whoever you touch, they stay on your team.
We was in good shape then. Everybody threw the ball way over. Yeah. Albert Klink, he's still living. He went to school. He lives a little far just down past it. He could throw it the highest of any man I ever seen.
And you still remember that?
I can see him throwing it way up in there.
if the ball didn't go over, if it came back to you, you had to say pigtails so they'd know it wasn't coming. And then you did it again. But if the ball didn't go over the school, then you hollered pigtails. Why pigtails? I don't know, but that was what it was if the ball didn't go over. And then you tried again.
We had one teacher that we hardly ever opened a book. She was a woman that had a car and we was on the road every day and she took us everywhere. And we learned a lot. She had a little Willis car and man, we would go. I mean, as I say, we all knew how to drive. I mean, she taught us all how to drive.
And I remember one time we got in the back of a cattle truck. The whole school kids did, were they all livestock. Drove us all the way to Detroit and took us to the zoo. We ride in an open truck all the way to Detroit to go to the zoo.
Goodness.
Yeah, Detroit Zoo.
One of
Yeah,
the
we
other,
had a lot of nice events that, the kids probably wouldn't get, but we were the whole school. It wasn't just the same grade, it was the whole school that we would do things. It was pretty unique.
She'd take us kids to the dairy so we could see how the milk was processed. She loaded us all up in her little coupe, but we couldn't all fit in the car, so some of us rode in the trunk. You would not do that today. She didn't shut the trunk door. I should have added that.
They tried to do some tricks that normal boys try to do. One boy, 7th grade boy, took the pencil sharpener shavings out of the pencil sharpener, took them out to the outhouse, rolled up in a piece of paper and tried to smoke them.
Pencil shavings. Did you catch them?
Yes.
And then what'd you do to them?
I don't remember.
We had a great big round furnace, and he put some Limburger cheese on the top of the stove, and boy, it stunk. We had to leave the school and we went home.
So they dismissed school because of the melted cheese. Did they ever find out it was him?
No.
No?
He wouldn't own up to that.
I know I always talked a lot, and when I was the 5th or 6th grade, I do remember several times getting to go up on the platform and stand, in the corner. She didn't put a dunce hat on me, but I had to stand on one leg and then stand on another leg, like for 15 minutes, and then I could go back to my seat. My citizenship grades were never good.
Did the boys ever chase the girls with snakes? Mary Ann. And what happened, Mary Ann?
My brother chased me around and around that school 100 times, and I went into the girls' outhouse and he threw it through the window.
My good girlfriend's still here.
Your girlfriend's still there?
After 76 years.
Was she your sweetie back in school?
Oh, boy, I don't want to talk too loud. Her husband might hear me, see?
Oh, okay.
My wife can't hear nothing, so it don't make no difference.
So you made lifelong friends?
Oh, boy. That's a long time, 76 years. She looks good, too, doesn't she?
How many of you still have a friend from your one-room schoolhouse days? Look at that. That's wonderful.
I don't remember any bad times at the school. And for the years that we went, there were 7 in our family, so we were probably predominantly the family in the school. And other people we had fun with and remembered fun things. We did have ice cream socials, and we had box socials and shadow socials, where somebody would buy our shadow, and then you had to sit and eat with them, and somebody would buy our box of lunch, and we'd have to sit and eat with them, and I suppose that was a little fundraiser for this and that. I remember the district superintendent, Cora Hayes, bringing records to the school, and we had a crank-up Victrola, and these were classical music, and she explained the history of the music, and then we would do that for a month, and then she'd bring us another one. And I was talking with my brother, and almost to a person, we believe we had a better education the first 8 years of our lives than the people did who were in town. And then we would go to the 9th grade in town. When we go in town in the 9th grade, we couldn't figure out why those people didn't know all the questions to the things that were going on, because we did. And so, but I think none of us felt badly that we had to go to a one-room school.